Good morning, happy Tuesday. Let's get this started. So I kind of look this way a lot. I got my other monitors here, my main monitor here that you can see. Let me turn this down. All right, so AMC is pumping. It is up 13.7% in pre-market. We can see that there's actually a substantial amount of volume relative to pre-market. You see a huge red candle here, which was 800K in volume, which isn't large for the trading day, but it's pretty gigantic for the pre-market. So we will continue to watch. Looks like it continues to bounce off of this 13 EMA. I did put a video out when the 13 crosses over the 48. It tends to be bullish, so you can see how it's respecting that short-term EMA. This is on the 1 minute. So typically I trade on the 3 minute. I'm going to switch over to that. It's not too terribly different from the 1 minute. And then we will open up some trading channels and we will start to get some levels. See what we have here. So this is a level of support here, and then this is the 15-minute ticker. This is kind of where I like to look at my levels of resistance on. So it looks like we have some resistance at 418. There's got to be some before that. There's 414.80. So then we kind of go down. We'll mark this. So this 414, that's 415.92. We will go. What's that? 414.28. So yeah, I think I like this 414. Let's look at this volume right here. 414.87. Actually, I think I like 80 better. Let's do this. So we will mark the 414.80 as upside. Could see a run to 420 if that shows some strength. And then looks like 409.67 is probably going to be our sell point to the downside. AMC starting to sell off a little bit. So this will be our sell point, and then it looks like the downside is going to be looks like this right here. 409.43 I like. 409.47. That actually looks 409.43 I like, so I'll get rid of this. So those will be our two levels on SPY. What did I just mark? 409.43 as a sell point, right? Yeah, okay. That's our sell point, not our trigger. Our trigger will be this level right here. Upside trigger will be or downside trigger, I'm sorry. Downside trigger will be resistance or support. Break of support at 411.03. $411 even doesn't look bad. 411.35 is what we'll do. That will be our downside. That'll be an upside trigger on AMD. One on 150 will be a downside trigger. I think. Yeah. 1 on 150 will be our downside trigger on AMD. So AMD, this is the, that's the 15-minute, but it does look like it's actually maybe sell off this morning. AMC is actually getting sold off, so those are set up. Then I usually hop into a Discord. Let me get out of this game. I chipped my coffee mug this morning. My favorite coffee mug. So I do have some AMC options. I had like quite a few expire on Friday, so the P&L is going to take a hit today. Let's see how much. I had $174 that I lost on Friday in AMC options. Those were from last week's. What kind of stinks is typically I buy my options for the next week on Fridays. I did not do that last week. I actually kind of took Friday trading off. I mean, I made a few trades. Well, I traded this buy 5 times. I have a trade that I didn't log that I need to write down for today. Well, I wrote it down, I just didn't log it into my books. And so we will log this today. And that was just a SPY call that we made. Oh, about $100 on. Oops. Whoops. Sorry, I thought I had music playing. Looks like I meant to do it like this. Keep it going. I love Mondays. Well, actually, I know it's Tuesday, but I really do enjoy Mondays. Get a little bit more time to trade. So yeah, I would have got some AMC options Friday on a typical week, but I think I was so pumped about GME, and I'm slowly backing off AMC. Not that I like it any less, but I just have allocated that money towards being able to trade daily and then potentially catch AMC on a run. I like to keep options on AMC. I like to have the option to purchase. Right now I have the option to purchase 1,000 shares through my call options. If the price reaches over 25-ish. So I've got the June 20s. I've got the June. So I do have this week's $20 strike, and then I have mid-June 25s. That's my largest. Well, my second largest position. I have 4 of the June 24th 25s, and I have 3 of the September 29s. Then I've got a July 25 and a January 145. So, that is what I have in AMC. Now, I am a degenerate. That is not trading advice. I do not recommend you go buy those. It is a gamble. And I do not expect to make any money on those. I expect to lose that money. That is money that I take out of my portfolio and forget about. But it is lotto money. So, potentially I get lucky and hit a lick. Alrighty, what do we have going on? What do we have going on? Looks like we kind of double topped pre-market, came back down, forming a W. Oh, this is AMD. Oh, still the same thing. We did double top pre-market, but I was going to look at AMC. So it looks like it actually tested resistance and then got through it, so we could see a bounce. We did break back through that 13-day EMA. Still above it on the 15-minute. I'm sure the 4 hour still looks bullish. Yeah, so the 4 hour. So this is kind of what I was talking about in my video. The cross here, upward movement, and then we get pretty large candle on open, and then another large green candle. So I made the video after, like, right here, I think. I don't know, you can look at it, but so I mean it was over $1 move since I made that video. So I wasn't wrong, not necessarily right yet, because it is pre-market. This could definitely dump out once the market opens, which I would not be surprised if it did. Obviously, I don't want it to, but we have seen that plenty of times. The volume's pretty huge. We're going to see some craziness on open. We are going to see some craziness. And 45 minutes. I would expect it to kind of bounce here. Should bounce like here. All right, so what we got? Top Gun, 156 million domestic opening, pretty positive news there. And then 126 million international, 280 million worldwide. I believe those numbers are the projections for the full weekend. I know this release date says the 27th, but if I look here, box office numbers. Try to find one of the most recent ones. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to find anything too recent. Probably have to wait a little bit into the day before it's actually released. What's the Twitter sphere saying? I don't know if it's news. I mean, it can be argued it's a technical setup too. I think these are funny. People assume that Ryan Cohen knows what's going to happen with the market. I don't think anybody can predict the market. Yeah, highest grossing movie, Top Gun, highest grossing movie of all time. So, Memorial Day weekend of all time movie. So, pretty cool stuff there. Alright, so Adam Mancini is a guy I like. So 6% squeeze cooling off. First test for the Bulls now. So he's looking yesterday for a dip to 416 and then 413 here now. So let's see what this lines up with. So yeah, he was looking for the dip in here at 416 to 413.50 area. So yeah, he thought that kind of this area here would act as support. Few buyers so far. So 410, 409 likely next. Lowest the Bulls want to keep. And then 425, 426 in play. If 409 fails, we'll see 403, then 398. So is greater than the 416 triggers. Upside direct. Okay. So he's saying 410, 409 is likely next. I like his call outs. So he is saying kind of this level here. We could get there pretty quick. So I generally like to kind of keep that in mind when trading. So I'll take that number combined with the trend. So the trend is down. It looks like we have this 13 crossing back through the 48. That is a downtrend. This isn't necessarily a trade for me, even if the market was open. If it did, I guess this could be a trade for me. So you see a test off of this support here. You can see it bouncing off the support now. So it comes down, breaks down slightly through support, recovers, back slightly through support, recovers, and then we get a run off of this support. And then now we're trending back down. We broke deeper into that support, so it actually looks like there's a decent amount of support here. So we would probably want it to break down off of this for 11.99. So this is just how I trade. I am not a professional. If it breaks down below this 411.99, then I would probably play the downside. You can see that it kind of respected that level pretty well right here. We see a breakthrough, come back down. It kind of just tests this range here before exploding back up through all of these levels. And then we've kind of been respecting this support quite a bit, and you can see this bounce and run off of it. So if it breaks this, I would probably buy the 409 puts. Typically I try to buy the closest to the strike. In this instance, that'd be like I could play the 411s or the 410s. But we'll just see how this plays out. AMD bouncing off of its downside support. Creep that up a little bit. 101. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And you can see AMC kind of bounced right off of that line I had marked out, off of support. Looks like it may not hold it though. We kind of want to see this move back up. Somebody's in Mullen popping. Let's look at that. I was in Mullen. I want to look at Mullen and actually want to look at BBIG too. Yeah, so Mullen's kind of ripping. Looks like battery news. So, I don't know. I don't trust this company. Don't trust it. But, awesome if you're in it. This is huge volume. Huge volume. Enormous volume. Could be setting us up to pump it up pretty good at open. Maybe see some halts. Keep an eye on that. BBIG looks like got that huge push into close. I had some options on this last week actually. I had the $3 strikes last week. Looks like this buy candle here. Just hasn't really had the volume that it needs. Got it towards the end of day Friday. And then kind of trended sideways, so they tried. Did it close over 250? No. AMC kind of systematically selling off here. Still respecting this support, but again, like I said, it doesn't look like it. He's gonna hold it. We'll see if we get the bounce. See what we got here. That is probably upside for NVIDIA. SPY's kind of sinking a little bit. So still kind of respecting this support for 11.99. So we did get the bounce off of that. I was on the wrong. See if it's still. So it looks like this test here and then it broke down. So this test right here broke down 189.43, so we could go 189.72. Test, breakdown, test. So you got the bounce here. So this would be the test here, breakdown off of that. Trades in range, test, fail, test, fail, test. This may have given an entry here to the upside. So probably could have traded this. This would be an example of kind of a trade I would make. Not necessarily perfect by any means. But if I was seeing the market well and feeling good, then a lot of times I would anticipate this here. Now this is the 15-minute, but this is if the 3-minute looked like this, I would take this trade. So you see it respecting this level, and then we have a test here, rejection, and then a retest breakout here. So we break out off of the support, and so you could take the trade. Honestly, personally, I don't know when I would have taken the trade. A lot of times I try to anticipate these crosses. So I would probably take it in here is probably where I would have taken it. Generally, I try to wait for a red candle. So I actually may have gotten burned on this trade the way that I trade, which I'm trying to get better at. I probably would have entered off of this somewhere and then held through here and then tried to hold through this dip. And then I would have gotten the breakout here. So a lot of times from what I can tell is this indicator is bullish when it crosses, but that doesn't mean that it's not just going to hold and go parabolic up like we saw on AMC, like we see here. Just because this crosses here doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get this kind of meteoric rise up. Obviously, it's awesome if it gets it, but it's not anything promised. So yeah, that is something that I probably could have or would have looked at taking. Does look like it's testing that upside though. I didn't mark that downside. I think it was. I had to go deeper. Yeah, somewhere in here. Be like right. So here's a pretty good move. So that's upside. This looks like a pretty good support here. 185.62. I like this in here. 185.44. 185.20. $185.97 is what I like, I think. 186.03. 185.97 is what I like. Yeah, it kind of lines up in there. Okay, for downside. Actually look. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Look at this. Because it fails here and goes down, but it broke here and went up. So let's keep that 185.97 for downside. Alright. So we will do upside. And downside. Headphones are hurting my ears. Oh, we're getting a pop-in SPY. AMC still coming back down pretty systematically. Broke that support. Not a big deal, but respected it for a little bit. See what is going on in the YouTube land. See what Matt's talking about.
Russia, so really, if it was the full gambit, it probably would have been the records in the beginning of that. So exciting what's going on individually with AMC, and obviously we're going to see monstrous numbers from GME and Redbox in terms of their short interest, their utilization, their cost of borrow. So we'll be covering all of that. Before we get into those specifics, shout out to today's stream sponsor, Bubble. Hey, no payment.
Stream sponsor. I want a stream sponsor. Nike. Nike's the stream sponsor today. Got to wear that athletic gear while you're trading so you don't sweat. Well, my air conditioner's right here, so not much of a sweat. Actually kind of cold. So I have my blankets. So now we chill. Got 25 minutes till the market opens. We just chill. Maybe grab some coffee. Miami's trending. What happened in Miami? Basketball? Miami lost in the basketball finals, I guess. Thought that was a couple days ago. Get with it, Twitter. Wow. This guy said he just added SPY 500 calls for a penny for Friday. Wow, that's pretty strong there. I don't think that that would be possible. Let's see what this is.
Fantastic, slightly red, oil going up, trading at 119, and yields going up as well, so bonds slightly down. This is breaking news. Home prices surged over 20% in March. Home prices surged over 20% in March as interest rates also rose. Nationally, home prices were up 20.6% higher than they were in March of 2021. Wow. Well, congratulations if you're a homeowner.
It's crazy. Home
Home
prices surged 20% March over March, year over year.
Speaking of right now, here's the 5 things you need to know for the market opens today, Tuesday, May 31st. This is the first trading day of this particular week. We're also closing out the month. And don't forget, it's obviously a short week because the market wasn't open yesterday for Memorial Day here in the U.S. S&P 500 futures are lower after snapping long losing streak
Uh-oh.
This seemingly benign one-centered state
Not the best candle, but it's still wicking
has
out.
a bit of a wall, and that's why we're seeing oil rip, and most likely going to rip higher and higher and higher. We'll be getting into the details of what is going on there, because I think it does represent opportunity for all of us. Shanghai set to ease strip.
Need to get back above this level. Very curious to see what happens at open. I mean, a lot of buying pressure.
Don't know who he is, never heard of him, so it might be important to you, not important to you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about cost. Being a human, buying petroleum related products. Gas prices hit yet another record high. Fresh record of $4.62 per gallon, which is 44 cents more expensive than it was a month ago. A mere month ago, it was down by 44 cents, with the average being 4.62. And remember, don't shoot the messenger. I guess I'm just a bearer of bad news. Everything is indicating that it's going to continue to go high. I know that's going to suck to hear, because like, dude, I just like turned to fill up half my gas tank, and it's brutal, and can't even afford to fill up the whole thing. Unfortunately, it does appear as if it's going to go higher, but I think it's too late.
So it looks like actually somebody in the community that is a Redditor, Ryan. What's his name? I really Randall Cornett. I know he's pretty popular. So this also broke out on the daily.
That will outstrip the oil shocks of the 1970s.
So it looks like he had kind of this wedge. What, like here? What did he have? It looks like he had like 2 wedges.
So already there was going to be low supply, high demand heading into this season. This was that was all happening before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which made the whole energy supply demand imbalance even. Russia's Gazprom cut off natural gas supply to the Netherlands after the Dutch paid rubles. Denmark would be next. So we get some of the supply demand.
Yeah, I can't really see his the
Russia's action.
wedge that he has. Must have came from a low like in here. I'm not very good at charting wedges. I don't really. All the wedges that I've ever seen, they don't really. I mean, this is a wedge breakout. What he has on the daily, he has kind of this wedge right here. I just feel like you can do this kind of with anything. Not discrediting him. He's I think he's very well respected. But personally, I don't like wedges. But I do know they are a trading indicator and people will make money on them. So maybe I should open up my mindset to them. Especially downward wedges that break up. They're typically bullish. So it looks like it kind of broke out of this descending wedge. Is what they call this. So a lot of bullish signals setting up for AMC. Like I said, the indicator I use is the 4-hour 1348 EMA. So kind of the same thing, kind of crossed here. So this would have signaled probably a little bit before his wedge, because his wedge is signaling breakout on the daily, which is like right here, whereas this signaled breakout kind of in here. Gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. So this is kind of interesting. So we get a bounce here off of this support, and the EMAs are getting closer, tighter. I don't like typically how this trends down. I want to see a sharper move up before I enter a trade. Like I said, I will try to kind of predict, but that's also how I've gotten burned. You see how quickly it can cross and then cross back. So just because it crosses, or if you just because you can like kind of predict this, it doesn't mean that it's going to go parabolic. As you can see, it triggers buy signal here and then tricks down. So it's not like the algo doesn't know that this exists and that they can rake here. We just have to make sure that they're kind of a little bit more separated. And this is a good move, but this is a lot of buying here, so it was likely overbought. And then you see a sell-off. This is all pre-market stuff. Again, on the 3 minutes, so, whoops. Again, I'm not, like, I mean, I could sound like an idiot probably to people that actually day trade. I don't really trade how they trade, but whatever I do has kind of worked for me. So you'll see this candle go up, and then we could get this cross, like, here, let's do this, actually. I just had maybe the right one. Oh, what do we want? So you could see this kind of come up like this, and then you'll see the candles kind of bounce. That's not quite steep enough. That's not how I want it. I want it. So could kind of see this like this. A little squiggly here, huh? And then we'll see this kind of cross in here. And so this is your bullish indicator. Well, that's a pretty arrow. Now, it could run like this, and then definitely cross, and then immediately kind of cross back down. So that's kind of where it gets tricky. But if you anticipate it, if you play it correctly, then, I mean, you can catch some upside generally. So we'll see how this plays out. What I was kind of saying, I guess the second scenario, what I'm saying is like this can kind of come up with it and then kind of cross like that and go down. Whereas this could come up, and instead of crossing here and going upward, so instead of both of these moving upward, this, where are we at? Yeah, this would cross here and then kind of instantly recross and come back down. So a few different things that can happen with it that get a little tricky. That's why I try to just wait for confirmation. I don't love to trade it if it's range bound. If it's not respecting or if it's not breaking this level of resistance here, and let's say it like comes up, and let's say it does this. Let's say it kind of like comes up and trades. Something like this. Then I would play, well, let's see here. Let's say, whoops. Let's say it kind of comes up like this. Let's say it does something like this. So if this crossed here, I would play this upside, right? I'm not going to play this because it's inside this range, and I just don't trust the way that this is setting up. Especially in pre-market, I can't even play it, so I can't even get options right now. But what I'm saying is if this trends up, tests this line, bounces back down off of it, retests again, and this crosses, if the purple crosses the blue, to be simple, the 48 crosses down the 13, then if it's about to cross here, I would play the downside and expect something kind of like this to get back down here and then bounce off support, and then it kind of just trades in this range, you know. So that's kind of what I expect. So sometimes I'll play this downside if it sets up for me, and then you can in turn turn around and play this downside. So a lot of times you can kind of enter here and play the downside, see if it respects this bottom level of support, and if it breaks down on support, you can add to your position here, play the downside even more, cut profit on these, and then kind of free roll this downside here to see if it works out. Just how I trade. It's not, doesn't make it perfect. I see this is kind of looking like it wants to set up, just from what I've seen, that it kind of looks like it wants to curl up. Definitely still could. But from my experience, this setup, it kind of looks like it's going to get entangled in here and then kind of cross back down. I mean, it's just going to be a bullish or bullish or bearish on the open. Probably that's probably going to set up right towards the open. We're going to see a cross either upward, so it could take off at open actually if it crosses there. But it could recross back down. Just never know. We shall see. That's why you have to play it level to level, and people that try to predict the market off of news, yeah, I mean, it's just not really how it works. Yeah, pre-market volume is pretty sick on AMC. So we got back above support. I mean, this looks good. This looks pretty damn good. It's a lot of volume. We're going to see a pretty crazy open, I would imagine. One way or the other, whether it's up or down. Who knows, but we are going to see some madness, I think. Coffee time. A little cold brew. Exciting stuff. You want Matthew Sam?
The player's like, hey, I have 10 million shares. How many do you want? They're like, okay, cool. I'll let you borrow the 10 million at a fee, and then you give them back to me when you're done with the short position.
Cost of borrowing AMC's up to 10%. I mean, I don't look at order checks. I don't trust it.
The cost of borrow fees by supply basically.
This is weird.
Shares that are available to go out when there's not as much of a demand, those can cost is going to come down.
This is what we call micro, though. These shorter time periods, the 3 minute, it's all micro stuff. So you don't really look long term. The way I trade, short term. Perfect trade here. Test, reject, test, retest, trigger. Boom. That's the trade I look for. Perfect bounce here. Boom. This shit's about to get wild. About to get wild. Might have to look at that. Holy cow. Look at that wick. Holy wick. What's GameStop doing? Same thing. We got the cross earlier. So AMC just got the cross. Well, GME got the cross a day earlier, 2 days earlier. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully. Hopefully. So I might be a bit distracted on open. I don't know if I'll be able to trade SPY or not because I kind of want to watch AMC. Just been a position I've had for a while. Also, I've had GameStop for a while. What is that? What is this? Oh, this is probably my cross levels, huh? Yeah, that was probably my... Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I deleted that other one that kind of had this kind of coming up, you see? Let's see how we're going to get that cross right at open, which would signify some upside. If I wanted to gamble, I would buy the 414 calls, but we may get there before open as well. We got 5 minutes. Keep you posted. If I make any trades, I'll call them out. Somebody cream cake the Mona Lisa.
And as they were taking away, he shouted in French, "Think about the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. Think about it. All the artists. Think about the earth. This is why I did this. Think about the planet." The Louvre issued a statement on Monday saying the painting had suffered no damage. The museum said the man had hidden the cake inside his personal belongings. Just, that classic hidden cake part.
Just hides the cake.
More importantly, people are nuts. What does putting a cake have to do with trying to save the earth? I'm all there. Let's save the earth. I'm not the one who is saying we should go damage the earth, but you're not going to get your point across. Like, no one.
So does it like this? Is looking pretty bullish. Looks like it's going to cross and then probably go up to test that 414.
That's how many minds were changed by this, stupid stuff. People are nuts. Anyway, I digress. We're going to talk about crypto a little bit later on, but crypto's looking nice. We're seeing some moves.
Got through that 413.50, so I mean, really could start seeing a move up.
Focusing on that among the whole crypto sector, which is seeing a nice little relief bounce, similarly to the overall market. I do need to pull.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, probably this level here. So 414 test, and then could get back up into here. 416, so we need to break the 416 50 area. So break like this. Whoops. That's not what I want. I mean, it just looks bullish. Yep, so we're getting this cross here as projected, and this should, typically you'll see a green candle, and then we will get a chance to enter, probably see a red candle in the next two candles. That would be my entry if I was going to enter. I may go green at open, just like one call contract. I just don't want to get burnt out right at the open, but man, it's setting up pretty bullish. So we have a minute and 20 seconds. So if this candle closes green, and the next one's red. Is that going to be the open candle? No, that'll be the... actually, yes, we will get to open off of this candle. So the next candle is going to be the open, so I expect it to get up to this 414. I'm going to be bullish at open. Unless this is red in large volume.
So we got the order fill at 4,141, and we were looking for 4,151 to lock in that 500. And I did it a minute early just because it gives us a more accurate fill to not have to fight with that volatility. Oh, all right. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's get ready. Let's get a new week of fun. Let's go.
Could just be a pump fake. Like I said, you know, these could cross and come back down pretty quickly. So here's open. So I am bullish on the open. If I was going to play, I'd play a call up to 414. AMC rejecting.
Don't forget with AMC, there technically is a gap fill. The gap fill is now 1447. I'll actually just mark it so it's just a little bit easier to see.
So they're saying, Matt's saying gap fill 1447 on AMC.
Low 16s-ish.
So down here, test.
105, maybe the first half of this.
So ideally what traders want to see on a gap fill, this 1452, 1447 area, is for this to come down, test the 1447, and then instantly go back up. We'll see what happens. See what happens at open here. So I want to look at this. SPY crossing.
This is the target we're going
Let me look at a 414 call.
make that 5 monies.
I'm going to enter a 414 call for $228. Got the fill at $223. We'll play this cross. Just one contract. I'm not too convicted on it, but I don't want to miss a run if it does get up here and then break this. And then we'll exit if this crosses back. Yeah, so there's kind of the pump fake. They give you these bullish indicators and then they can sell off into it. But this is typically how I trade. I'll enter on a red candle, see if we get this bounce. And if we don't, I'll just cut my position. And then we wait. So if it gets down here and tests this, I want to see a bounce off of this. Or 412.30 looks like it may have some support. So 412.30 right here. So not bouncing. This is a pump fake up. So they kind of give this bullish indicator and then rip it back down. Kind of like this. Where I said it could cross and then cross back. You see this quite a bit, but still a lot of time left. I mean, definitely could go up. If it breaks here, I've got to cut it.
Up 25% from a gap up, but it's not full.
Yeah.
We have some pain from gap ups.
See how this is pinching here and we're pinching back down? It's my expiration. 414. It's just the market. This is what happens. AMC crazy volume. Crazy, crazy, crazy volume.
Like a little morning freak out. Trying to mess people up for the first like 5 minutes. What's the gap on AMC?
Huge selling volume.
47.
So we want to see this 1447 is what he's saying though. There.
Tesla, a little bit of bounce, OXY. If AMC doesn't get to in on this space, I feel like it never will unwelcome. The success of one movie, you have to understand the dollar amount. So AMC, its market cap is at $8 billion right now after gaining 50% in a couple days. So we're talking about billions of dollars, like billions of dollars to AMC itself. When Top Gun made $275 million at all movie theaters globally. You have to understand that. Did AMC, including AMC, but also other ones, made 275? So like, make sure you're.
So AMD triggering downside.
Me, what I'm looking for, and just because it's such an emotional play, is
So we wait, see if we get a retest.
strong fundamentals of nutrition, such as the that feed into just like FOMO and passion, fervor that like get people to, okay, they're excited. They're like, okay, I see the movies are doing well. I see there's other new movies coming out. I know there's a higher short interest.
There's our retest.
And all of a sudden it puts more
So I'm gonna open up my puts.
more people getting excited, so they buy, and they put more pressure on the short. You're looking for more of a kind of like an emotional domino effect, a snowball effect against the short.
And so I'm looking for a rejection here. This cross is kind of my confirmation. So if this rejects off of this candle, I'm gonna enter these puts. And that's probably missed it. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna take them.
Is anyone else playing oil right now? I would love this bounce.
So I went for a 178 fill. They changed to 184. So I need a slight uptick to get filled. Kind of missing it now. Yeah, there it went. So I missed that. So let me cancel this trade. So had that got filled, that would have been $100 right there. Yeah, so I missed that trade, but we may get another shot. So 178 would have been my fill, so it would have been $1,700, and now it's worth $2,000. So it would have been about $200 off of this. I just didn't get my fill. I wasn't early enough. I should have taken it on the green test. But I'm not going to take it now because I can get blown back out of it if the SPY turns around. Which doesn't look like it wants to do.
I think he was on early. Yeah, he did an early morning squat box. And it was kind of what you would expect of basically saying, hey, Top Gun, kick ass, it's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, you should see it, and there's a reason why it's doing super, super well. Dave Hartley, hey, I appreciate that.
So AMC is pretty much giving back all of its pre-market gains.
Right now, we're seeing some selling.
So we need to retest this, so fill this gap, and then start the way back up if it's going to remain bullish. This is what they do. Build excitement, rip it out.
2%? A lot of these like energy plays. Damn. Look at the SPY, Tesla, AMC, rock that movie.
Could play a 409 put and straddle it.
AMC's going back out of 47. What are my thoughts on calls for oil?
do that. Let's straddle this. Buying a 109 or a 409 put. Got the fill on that bounce, and we'll see if it comes up, rejects this, and heads back down. I mean, AMC got flushed so hard. Might be a good time to get in some calls. Get the 1550s for 130 bucks. We'll buy one AMC call for a sweat. So we got the 1550 call for this week. Probably just let that ride this week. 100 bucks. All right. Then we log these trades. AMC's getting wiped out. Heading down hard to that gap fill. 1447. So we bought the SPY 414 calls for end of day, and the SPY 409 puts.
Why not? I'm gonna try to buy Tesla off the support at 750. Ideally, no risk.
158 for the puts, 158 bucks for the puts. We overpaid big time for the calls. 223 bucks for the calls. Let's see what happens. And I missed that AMD. That's the one that hurt. Oh, it kind of blew back up though. Might get a retest here. Might be able to re-enter this. Might be able to re-enter this. Might get an entry here. Yeah, we're at our entry point. So let's buy this. Let's get 5 of these. Going for these AMD puts. And we will...
Tesla, June 3rd, 775 calls. Gonna have 5 of them. And I'm basically...
I really want to see it retest a little bit more. I'm not going to enter yet. Okay.
In and out, like maybe push right back to 775. Just trying to play like the counter trend move. Just looking for a little bit of a counter trend move.
Fill. I can't get that fill at 178. I think 178's the fill. I'm going to see if I get it. Hopefully I don't get stopped out on the way up. We'll let that ride. See what happens. So I played this downside fill on the SPY put for 158. And then we'll see if it gets down here and gets a bounce. Yeah, AMD, I'm just not getting the fill on it, so just missing it. Pain. So I missed that twice. Cancel this. That was the trade, really? The trade I was waiting for. So 190. Yeah, so they're 2,000 again. So I was trying to get filled at $1,780, and they're worth $2,000 now. So that would have been the $220, about what I try to make every day off of these candles, but I just couldn't get the fill. Usually I get the fill. I'm going to exit the SPY position, the 409 put. Whoa. Where was this? So AMC, yeah,
Candles that
barely
were
missed the gap.
set.
That's okay. Was that my downside trigger just being? I don't know.
Moving outside the Keltner. I like this. Look how far outside of the Keltner we are. I think this
So AMC gave back all of its pre-market gains. Crazy.
I think it's okay.
AMD coming back up. Now I don't really like this because I don't really like when something tests 2 or 3 times. I don't really like playing it. The rejections get less likely. It means there's more buying power. Every time it tests this, it means that it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Could actually play the upside now if it broke this, but I don't. I would want confirmation in my cross. So now it's probably just a no trade for me. I guess if it hits perfect off of this,
We're gonna talk a little bit about
we could enter, but man, I just don't like it. Spy's coming back. So we did get the rejection. Could have been an entry. I don't know what to chase or not.
All right, are we gonna get this bounce? Someone said they just bought 10,000 shares of AMC.
Broke up. Yeah, we're not chasing that.
Keep rocking.
If I did anything, I would play the upside here. So I'd play the upside because we could get back. Now it's still rejecting. It's gonna be close. If this wicks out and rejects, comes down, but no, it's yeah. So now I would just play the upside on this.
The fun of it. I really just wanted to get the gap. That's gonna be so frustrating because often resets and misses gap.
So Spy respecting this level. See if it bounces here, gets down. If this breaks, I'm gonna exit my put. If it rejects here, I'll ride the put out a little bit more to see if we see 409. If it breaks here,
Is already up 15%
then
for
I'm gonna look at exiting my put.
Nice. You guys see this? So basically,
AMC call that we bought is break even.
148%. On Tesla, we are currently up 16% on the trade we just placed, and on Guru, we are down 32. So up 600, up 1,000, down 300.
Market opens are always so like whipsaw. I mean, it's back and forth. That's why I take small contracts. I kind of take shots at the small contracts. Generally, I'll cut them. I try to stay under like a $400 or $500 threshold with those contracts, just so I don't get ripped out on the day. So it looks like the Spy's coming back down. So we test that. We'll see where this candle closes, but I would expect it, since it failed this test, to come trend back down this way.
Bought 1 trillion AMC shares. I don't get this. Someone said GME is the play, not AMC. Wake up on it. Shiz LaGriz. Do you
Spy actually kind of
believe
showing
that,
some
or are you
strength.
just saying it because you actually believe it?
So GME has earnings after the market today.
PayPal, all right, we'll do that. The leadership is very different. Like, are you saying that there's only one play? Like, is that your...
So I think I'm gonna sell some GME, like 10 shares, just to have that protection if it goes way down. Historically, it drops off of earnings, so I want to be able to have be able to scale down if it drops. I am long, but I just historically it goes down. There's a lot of hype. People tend to sell the hype. Good traders sell the hype. So I want to see what it does for earnings. And I just want to have a little bit of buying power if it drops back into like the hundreds. Spy trying to decide what it wants to do. What's AMD? Is it gonna give me another entry? Yeah, it is to the downside.
I've watched them extensively without them needing.
I just don't like it. I'm not gonna take it.
Look at SATs, ACTs,
I need a slightly better setup. I just don't
everything
trust this.
from
You can rip up out of here pretty easily.
this very moment. I'm watching them. I just have files and files and files. And really, the only way to get in is people who truly have the ability to watch more than one equity. It's uncanny. I know you're probably like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do that. I thought you could only have like one equity on your
Could
monitor
play this
all
spy
the time.
downside. I could.
I know. Yeah, like I could understand how this is jarring for you. But everyone in here has like past a certain intellectual level where they can walk and chew bubbles all at the same time.
I'm just gonna wait.
Just keep that in mind.
Wait for a good setup. That's part of it. Just waiting. There's a lot of it. I'm kind of stuck on those calls. The call that I entered on open off of this bullish trigger, it did exactly what I said that it could do on that insta cross down on the arrows. Go back and watch it. Obviously, it could have went this way. It could have went that way. Yeah, it's easy to say, but you see this a lot where they'll give this bullish indicator and then trip it back down. I hate saying they. And just the algorithm. It'll give this kind of bullish indicator and then rip it back out. Could play a spy put off of this rejection. Just not going to. I'm going to wait. If I did anything, I would probably play AMD put because it's going to follow the spy like the broader market.
I'm not gonna ban him. Shiz Riz. I'm not gonna ban him. Maybe he just like was truthfully.
Keeps giving that entry around that
Jimmy, is it a movie theater?
178 entry on the 99s.
You're showing that Jimmy is in fact not.
If I could get filled, I would take it.
This is how Amelia Earhart felt traversing the Atlantic.
Okay, so I just took that. I got the fill at 178. So I'm going to play this rejection here. And then when it comes back down, I'll get out.
Way too early, and then I spend all day fighting just to get out of it.
So this is a pretty picture. I mean, you want it to go up, test, fail, retest, fail, and then we play in the downside. So this failure here, if this candle closes like this, then it should be a perfect downside move, which is what we'll take the profit on. Probably the next candle, we should see kind of a dump out in an ideal trade. So if that happens, I mean, unless the broader market rips right now, so unless a bunch of money comes in on SPY and this rips up out, then we'll get burned. But typically, you'll see this candle close here and then a dump out. So we're starting to see the sell-off now. And so the next candle should dump out and test this support and maybe ride it out, and we'll see what happens. But we need this candle to close below this line. So as long as the broader market doesn't just rip up out and this candle goes green and up, then we should be okay. It's just a game of statistics, right? Like, it's probable that this candle closes red and then we see a dump out. It's a sell signal, kind of. So we'll see what happens.
All right, AMC just got its gap fill. Just got its gap fill. 3.
So broader market going green right now. Well, a green wick on the 1 minute. So this is probably going to start to come back up. We just gotta kind of just sit here and wait and see how it plays out. Oh, okay, so that closed red. So we should see kind of this sell off, unless the broader market just gets a rip. Testing 108.86. So there's kind of that sell that we're looking for. Go up here. I could have sold right there. I just wasn't on the right screen. So now I'm going to see the broader market's ripping. I want to see the broader market sell off a bit. So basically I'm looking for SPY to fail this retest again. But like I said, every time we test this, weaker, weaker, weaker. So they are buying it. So if it breaks up out of here, then we could see a run back up to that 414. But a rejection here could bring it back down. Yeah, I need it to reject because I need that AMD put to... I need this to continue red. So with a broader market sell-off, this would have went harder red, but since the broader market's popping, then that's why. You see these screen, then AMD is kind of following this. So we had the red, and then test, retest, failed, so this should go down. But the broader market, you see all this buying pressure here is helping it. It's helping lift it up. But I need this to not do that. So I need this 411.57 rejection. 411.57. So I need to reject off of this. Like here.
And I played poker. I don't know if there's any people from,
looks like we are getting the reversal. Kind of sucks.
Do we have any Wilkesboro/Mohegan Sun casino people in here? Because I was playing some poker on.
Yeah, SPY's just ripping out. Might have to cut this. Shoot. I mean, the AMD puts only 4% red, so I need it to reject this. If it respects this, if it bounces up, then I have to cut. But if it keeps rejecting this, I can keep holding it. I just need the SPY to kind of come back a little bit. It kind of is kind of going nuts. Yeah, that's it. We're going to cut it. Pain. Pain, 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 pain.
So I played and I
It's kind of, I don't like to cut on green candles, so I'm trying to wait to cut on a red. If it gets that bounce there, then it bounces up. So see, this is now support. It was resistance. Now it, well, still... If it bounces here, then it's going to turn into support, but we're still breaking it. Still in that range. Might have to hold this for a second.
So that, like, I feel like it's really difficult for good poker players to actually play against bad poker players. Because you just don't know what they're going to do. And I'm that guy that doesn't make any sense. Why would you possibly do that? So that was me. And I think it made it very, very difficult for people to play against me. Because I was just like, I just go all in way too many times. Just way too many times. And then I have...
Was it a pump fake? So sometimes they'll try to get you stopped out. So my stop loss is usually 10 to 15%. I know a lot of guys will cut it like 5%, but I hate getting stopped out on trades that I have conviction in. This trade right here, setup, it's not picture perfect because I would rather have the cross. I'd rather have this cross here and then watch it go down. But, I mean, a lot of times they'll try to stop you out. I mean, we're just trading right on this support resistance line. Right now it's resistance. SPY kind of dumping out a little bit.
I kept joking about going all in on a 7-2 offsuit. And they're like, ha ha ha,
Seeing SPY sell off now.
That's the worst thing. And I kept
So this could have just been kind of
on him. I was dealt a 7-2 offsuit, and I went all in. And they thought I was joking. So
man, it's just testing.
and I showed them the 7-2 offsuit, and like I got like at first like a little bit of a chuckle, and then I could just
So I don't like how this is curling back, and I don't like how this is on support. This definitely could blow out. So do I take 2% loss, $20 loss?
7-2 offsuit.
Or do I see if it sells off? Well, it kind of... This is tricky.
How much did I win? I started with
This is the tricky part of trading. Knowing when to buy, knowing when to sell. I just really like that it's rejecting this.
That's the only way to play it.
But like I said, it's
They probably saw your Tesla.
the more that you see this cross over, it's buying, right? It's like buying here, strength, buying here. So we're weakening this wall, and eventually it could blow up out. That's what I don't like about it. It's just trying to figure out if it's actual strength or not. So a lot of times you'll look at volume. So we do have some more green volume here than these sell volumes. So we're moving down on lower red volume, higher green volume. A little bit tricky. We did open with some higher selling volume, but I really just want like a death candle down, and then I'll just get out. But I may not get it. Okay, there we go. There's a bit of a death candle. We're going to get a bounce off of the support. I don't know. So I'm looking at two screens. I have a 1 minute chart here. I have a 3 minute chart here. And I have the SPY up on a 1 minute chart here, and then I have this AMD on the 3 minute chart here. So if this breaks this, you can see how this is now support here. I don't know why my lines are doing this. If it were to break this, then you'd see it likely dump out to like a next level of, I mean, you can see it dump out to 98 legitimately. The SPY's holding it up. The SPY is holding it up. Dump, SPY, dump. This is where I'm getting greedy. I could cut it right now, make 50 bucks, but I like the way that it looks right now. I want it to break this support.
I think I'm back. I think I'm back.
The stream froze. I really want to see this break down through this. That would be awesome. Okay, there's a little bit of a break. I need this candle to close below this blue line. And when I say close, I just need this 3 minutes. I need this to like kind of hold below this for the close of this candle for 3 minutes. God, SPY just knifed down at open. That's crazy. AMC's red after being up 16% pre-market. Kind of funny. It's just manipulated. I mean, I shouldn't just say that, but I mean, if something's green 16% pre-market, that's kind of crazy for it just to open and just tank down. I mean, people could just be taking profit on Top Gun news. Okay, so there's our So if this candle closes below this, I'm gonna expect another red candle. Yeah, we're seeing a dump. So I'm kind of glad I held there. So I'm gonna cut 2 positions on the next. I really want this candle to close under that. Oh, it's gonna be painful if it gets right above it right when it closes. I'm getting ready to scale out 2 positions. I just want to see how this candle plays out. Okay, so I scaled out of 2 positions on the close of that candle. This is good. You see this reject off of this. So now we want it to stay below this, and we should see more downturn. What did we get filled at? We got filled at 192. So we entered at 176 for the AMD put. And we sold 2 at 196. 192, sorry. So that's $16. So that was small profit. 32 bucks. That's what we made on that. And now we see the rejection. Should see more downside, especially if broader market sells off. I mean, this is going to be heavy down into the 98 range. But broader market's getting bought back now. We're actually going against broader market right now. SPY's actually ripping. So SPY's leading this. So SPY's actually green, but it is kind of leading by slight this. So this is, you saw that kind of dragging behind. It's red now. I mean, this is just a good setup. This is a really good setup. I love this rejection right here, because it just tells me that it really should come down unless SPY just rips faces off. Like, unless this just takes off out of here, this should really start to go down. I mean, SPY is getting bought up pretty heavy. So you can see, I look at the 1 minute on my other screen. So you can see this just SPY's trending up. And this kind of rejecting off of this. So we need another rejection and down. So the more that this is red, then the heavier that this is going to be red. But I don't trade off of the 1 minute. It's just a little bit too difficult to try, and you just get pulled around a lot more. It doesn't really, I mean, it gives you some signals here, but you just get stopped out way too fast, and it's harder to read. Let's SPY on AMD up. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of let these run. I mean, we haven't seen a reversal yet. It's just trending downward. Yeah, so we just kind of let this sit and chill. I mean, if we see it kind of blow back up, then we can exit out. But If I see another huge red candle, then I might scale out of one more. Right now, though, there's no true sign that SPY wants to kind of pop out of its little hole here. Do have a SPY 409 put running as well. It's break even right now. So now you see this kind of sell off in SPY, so you should see it trend with this as well. So we should see a larger sell off in this. Well, not larger, but it should line up pretty well with whatever the SPY is doing. So this red candle here should lead AMD ideally. It's not. Yeah, it looks like the SPY is like leading AMD by a little bit because it's green now. I have it over here on this screen. And this is the 3 minute, but on the 1 minute it has a green wick. Yeah, see how this is green and this is green. It's leading this slightly, like it's staying ahead of it just barely. Still trending down though. So I'm not going to fight the trend. I'm not going to try to like play upside or something like that. I mean, we're still trending downward. And if you see, there's more red volume here than green volume. I mean, that's kind of obvious because we're selling off, but like these red bars, so the selling volume is greater than the greener volume, buying volume. The red, you notice the red's higher than the green, so there's more selling pressure, which is why it's going down. So SPY kind of get bought back up. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close out of one more of these. So we closed one more out at 206, which is 40 bucks. So far we made 70 bucks there. Still red on the day I took that stupid position at open, the 414 call, but I'll probably just let it ride. I mean, there's it's only a 1% move. We've seen the SPY just absolutely go bonkers and have 2%, 1 to 2% runs. So I'm kind of I hedged the well, not even a hedge. I just kind of straddled it. So I played the 409 put to the downside on this, on this trajectory. So I think we come down here, bounce, so we could bounce here and then take off. It looks like it's getting buying support before that, so we're a little early. It's getting that support, like 50 cents before. So that's actually, it could go bullish if you see a bunch of buying come in before it gets here. But we don't know. I would expect it to come down, tap, then go back up. But you never know. AMD is starting to get bought back up. I want to see if this is curling. Yeah, I could close this position. I have a theory. I meant to look this weekend to see if on these crosses on Mondays, I know today's Tuesday, but on market open, I always have established positions early on Mondays off of my EMA and off of my support levels. And it feels like I need to check it because I write down all my trades. But it seems like by the end of the week, all of those trades that I had taken on the Mondays off of that cross, even though it's such a short-term cross, it's such a short time on that cross, I think it is correlated to the correct play by the end of the week, but I want to back check it. Basically, what I'm saying is, if this crossed down and I played the downside, by the end of the week, that downside was huge. If it crossed up and I played the upside, by the end of the week, that upside was large. So I'm halfway tempted. I need to back check it, but what I would do is on Mondays when I trade. Oh wow, it's getting brought up. On Mondays when I trade, I'd go heavy on the contracts, whichever ones I wanted, and then I would like let one ride or something. I wouldn't let the whole position ride, but I would take profit and then let the one ride. I don't like this. I don't like that it bounced perfectly off of that. I probably should get out. Let me see what the SPY's doing. SPY's getting bought up. It's still rejecting a level that I have on the 1 minute over here, so I could probably let it ride. Yeah, SPY got a ton of buying power there, or buying pressure there. This wick here was a huge green wick for SPY. Look at that. It's like 3 minutes of straight buying. Alright, I think I have had enough. This looks like it is going to trend up. I need to cut this while it's green. I kind of want to wait for a red candle. I don't really like cutting these on green wicks, but it is kind of blowing me out, so let's close this. We're going to take our green there, and we are out of the AMD trade. Don't do it to me. Don't tease me. Don't blow me out and then rip it down. I mean, that happens, you know. This could go back down, but I just am not willing to risk. I just don't let green trades go red. So, looks like it did reject that. That's painful to see, but it's also part of it. So that total trade cost of entry. $880 was the cost of entry on the AMD. And $950 was the cost of exit. So we made $70. Still rejecting that level that I have on the 1 minute over here on my other chart. This is my trading platform over here. So I'm trading over here. This is my charting platform, TradingView. So I chart here. I draw a couple lines, previous lines over here that I keep. And so I have a 101.86 line over here. And it keeps rejecting off of that. So it keeps rejecting this off of the 1 minute. I don't know why these lines are doing that. But it looks like it just broke it, so that's good for it. It could run. So it was rejecting this on the 1 minute. This is kind of what I'm looking at over there. You can see like a rejection, 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 breakthrough. So that was just a line I had on my 1 minute, but I trade on the 3 minute, so I keep this charting on 3 minute. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually exit this SPY put. Market getting bought up, trending upward, and I do not want to get burnt on both ends. I think that we're going to see some upside here. But SPY 11, the 411.57 is giving it some trouble on the 1 minute. So the 411.57. So I have this marked here. Oh, that's why that is. That's on my horizontal line. 411.57, which it looks like it just broke that. So same thing on the 1 minute chart I have over here. You see this line right here, this 411.57 is what I was watching reject, up, reject, 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 and then it breaks through here. So should see some upside. So I cut the put. I still have the 414 call, so I want to see this, kind of respect this, and just take off. Look at this cross here. So actually I could enter some more 414 calls, which actually I might do. Oh, that's 1 minute though. I want my 3 minute confirmation. Yeah, so I could do it. Let me see what this next candle kind of starts off. If this kind of comes back, then we'll see what happens. But it's actually kind of triggering off of my support here. Kind of like that. Let me look at the price on calls. So 131. So I am going to average down. I'm going to buy 2 more 414 calls. And we got the fill. Yeah, we got the fill. So I got the fill on those at 133. So we bought 1 at that, and then we bought 2 at 133. So we averaged down on those calls, so now we have 3 SPY calls playing this 414 level off this bounce. I want this to continue to uptrend. I want the cross like somewhere in here. So I want this to kind of play out like this, and I want this to go sharply up like that. That is what I want. I even want this probably even sharper. AMC got its gap fill at that 1447, the level that I was watching here is 1447. So actually filled it, broke it, and now it's going to respect it. So now it's a resistance. So if you see a break up through here, you should see this same thing that we're seeing in SPY. You should see this kind of curl, and then we get bought back up. Crazy, crazy action on AMC. That's the volume. The volume slowed down, actually, even on the 3 minute. But, I mean, we're 1662. 1662 at highs, pre-market. Kind of wild. %16 drop. Look at that, 16% drop from pre-market highs. Insane. Insane in the membrane. So 412.30 is a line that I have marked, so I'm looking to come back, test this 412.30 on the 1 minute, and then take off. So I want it to come back, bounce off of this, go up on the 1 minute. There's our test. So I want it to fill that basically, and then get some green from here. So I either want this candle to turn green and go up, or I want the next candle here to bounce up. I want this to kind of trend up. Hold the line. What I don't want is like a big sell-off here. Yeah, that is what I don't want. Yeah, it's dumping. Could still respect it. I mean, this can still change, but I just don't want it to get too deep. It'd be awesome if this candle was green. This goes green and then pew. I mean, this is a good sign here that these, you see this green volume outweighing the red volume. So basically what this means is that this green volume is buying volume. So the buying pressure is greater. The selling pressure does not equal the buying pressure. So there's more buyers in this area, which is why it was green. But this shrinking on lower volume is bullish actually. So we want to see it come down if it comes down on low red candles. And when it goes up, we want to see it go up on big green candles if we are betting the upside, which we are right now. We're getting murdered on it. Probably not the best trade, but we're not getting murdered on it. Down $100. Not looking good. Did not respect that level. So I wanted it to bounce off of this. You see that it didn't bounce. It rejected, and now it's selling off of it. So we really want it to kind of get some buying pressure and either bounce off of this short-term EMA. I don't want to watch the 1 minute. I want to watch the 3 minute because I don't want it to affect my trading plan. Same thing. I wanted this bounce here, go up. Didn't get it. It's rejecting. Not good. Could get like a double cross if this sells off hard. If this turns, this comes down, it could cross again. Like where this cross is actually bearish. So this cross is bullish. It should go up, but on open, when it crosses here, it's bearish. So that was a signal for a sell-off. So if we see that again in here, so let's do this. This could go two ways, right? So now this is looking like if this crosses here, but this is going up, then it could fall off again. But it could bounce off of this too. So we just have to wait and see if what plays out. I know I keep giving two scenarios because there are two scenarios, right? Either up or down. Who knows? So that 412.30 is what we're kind of watching. It's going to be kind of a battle over this right here. Doesn't look like I'm going to get necessarily what I want. I mean, hopefully this kind of moves across. So now I want to see this kind of trend just like a little bit more across. I don't really like this. I would rather this curl and this curl, and they kind of both traject up. I don't like when this longer term EMA trajects down. But if it kind of moves sideways and we still get the upward pressure of the short-term buying, so if we still get this short-term buying up, then I'm okay if this starts to trend back up as well. Again, I don't even know if any of this, this is just me like trying to recognize patterns from watching the market. This isn't really like something I've studied. This isn't like a proven method by any means. I've only been trading for, I've been watching the market for well over a year on the 1 minute ticker. So I feel like I have a pretty good idea how candles move and what these look like. But I have no method besides my own to these. I know there's been some guys on YouTube talk about this 1348, and I think that they've been successful playing. I don't know the confirmations that they want, basically. I think they look for it to bounce off of these. So I think like this is what they kind of look for. They want it to bounce off of these shorter term EMAs. So I think this is just probably a mess to them. I more look for like a trend and try to kind of predict this, which is not good. It's definitely not good. It's degenerate. Like I said, I'm a degenerate. But I think that they are much more technical and look for bounces here. I just trade what I've had success with, and until it kind of fails me and until I realize that I'm doing something wrong or bad, then I will change my ways. I really don't like this. I don't know what to do now. I don't want to get stuck in this trade. I guess I'm going to look for a bounce off of this 411.57 that it broke through this here. So you see AMD actually blew up out of there, so I exited at the correct time. I got out of all those right in here. So I scaled out, sold one, waited to see this broke through, confirm, so I get out of the rest, and then could have played the upside. Like I said, you could play the upside off of this bounce, and now look, it's just going. So it's getting ready to trigger upside. It could reject here, come back down, but this is getting ready to cross. This is the indicator I look for, a bullish indicator. I mean, this looks strong. This looks really strong. So we exited our position at the correct time here. Scale out, take profit. Probably found the bottom. Then test, didn't like the retest, showed strength, exited. I mean, not a perfect trade, but a really good trade in my eyes. And then we get this bullish buying. I mean, this thing's blowing through. So this cross here, we're testing upside, so I could play the upside now. But it failed the first test. I mean, it hasn't failed yet because the candle hasn't closed. But you should see a rejection, retest, or if it breaks out, retest up is what you want. And you want to enter off the retest. So here it could reject, go downside, but look, this is bullish, so this is going to cross here, and then you're going to see buying pressure. This may not even come back down to retest. This is actually exactly what I look for. This is what I would want to enter here. You're going to get a buy signal here. Ideally, you get a red candle next, and I would enter on the red candle, and then we get a breakout. Look at SPY. Going crazy. So not terrible. We want this to kind of trend up, and then we want this to cross sharply. So, man, look at this candle. It's crazy. This would have paid. This would have paid what I said. I think I said it. I think I said you could play the upside off of a bounce off of this. I think I said that. If not, I was kind of thinking it. But yeah, this is going to cross. You'll get a buy signal. Next candle, from my experience, will have some downside, and that's a really good spot to enter as long as the retest doesn't break through, and then you get a breakout. But right now, the SPY is just carrying it. So AMC off the gap fill, getting a bounce off the gap fill. SPY getting a huge push, which is what's carrying AMD, or AMD carrying SPY, vice versa. A lot of the larger companies will not necessarily carry the S&P 500, but if you see buying pressure in them, then more than likely you're going to see buying pressure in the SPY. Yeah, AMD just going. So yeah, this gave us a few trading opportunities, right? So we saw this rejection, retest, rejection. We played the downside. We got the downside. We exited 2 contracts like in here. We exited 1 contract here, which is the bottom. Retest. We saw this trend on the 1 minute, breaking, holding. So I got out of those at like 2% positive. So I closed two contracts pretty much break even, slightly positive. And then I said we could play the upside off of the bounce. Probably could have. And now we're retesting the actual upside level. So we want a red candle here to really enter. From my experience, you'll see a buy signal and then potentially a red candle. This cross looks pretty strong. So this is red. We want to retest, and then we want it to go up. I may buy an AMD call here. They're a little bit pricey. actually like this. I think I'm gonna take this trade here. I think I'm gonna buy two 105 calls. In anticipation of the bounce off of this and then upward movement. So there's the test. So we want this candle to close above this. So this is where I'm trading a bit early in anticipation. We want this candle to close above this line, and then we should see upside. If we close below it, if it comes down and closes in here, then we could see more sell-off down into this. But like I said, I'm using this as kind of my indicator, this cross being bullish from my experience. You see this trend up after. I said we would get a red candle after this buying pressure here. That's where I usually enter my trades. That's what I did. I entered right here off of this trigger support, and I want to see upside after. If this candle closes above this line, we should see a pretty big move upward. Ideally. Obviously, it can go either way. I mean, it's just part of it. SPY kind of still like testing this range here. So we saw it close above it. That's good. Now we should see this candle hopefully move upward. We are at a pretty high trading range. It's probably also like slightly overbought. Let's see here. Yeah, we're a little bit overbought too. But I'm just going to trust my trade. So, I mean, another retest of it's fine. I don't really care. I like seeing the retest and support. That means that the buying pressure's there and that it should trigger upside. But after this trade, I'm out of money. You can only trade through your account the day, so this is the last trade of the day. What was it? We got two AMD. We bought the 105 calls. And see, this is actually a trade that I could ride out the rest of the week. Depending on what happens. I think Jay Powell speaks today, which is the Fed. I think I'm okay to ride this trade out just because we have the rest of the week. And I think that we're going to see some upside eventually this week. So this is a trade that I'm not like, obviously if it spiked up and I got my bounce, then I would have got out. Because that is probably the largest percentage gain that I was going to see, because option contracts lose value over time. And so the quicker they go up, if you can make 20-30% like without risk, then I just take it. But given that we have the rest of the week ahead of us, this option doesn't expire until Friday, so I have enough time. I have until Friday for it to get to that 105-ish range. So surely, I mean, not surely, nothing's guaranteed. But at some point, I feel like we are going to see some bullish momentum, especially after the sell-off. I mean, look, this is like just an absolute massacre right here. So given this selling pressure, typically there's buying pressure at some point that equals it, from my experience. Granted, we get some terrible news, or the algo decides to sell off and we just see straight downward pressure. But even this, like, we might see a cross here. This isn't like the sharpest cross that I like to see, because this kind of leads sometimes to one of those crosses like what we saw here. See how like this is flat? We really want this to bend too. If they both are kind of bending and trending upwards, that's where you see your greatest spike ups. Kind of like this. See how they're, well, that one's kind of flat there, so it kind of goes both ways, you know. Like this kind of trending really sharply up. AMC bouncing really nice off this gap fill. I mean, we could see some huge momentum in it. See what it looks like on the 4 hour. Look at that candle. This is crazy. It's perfectly like touching downside and resistance. But look at this. 1662, 1665 pre-market. That means there were buyers, and it was pretty large volume. It wasn't like, you know, just necessarily retail buying in. It's after hours. So people can't even trade after hours. Most people can't trade after hours, which is when the market's closed. I don't even know if anybody's watching this thing. Not that it really matters, but we have had 0 views. But it's all good. Boom. So you saw this spike off of support. Looks like it tried to stop it out, and then it runs. I fully expect this to continue upward, at least for a couple candles. I don't expect it just to, you know, go parabolic or anything like that, but I expect this to move pretty strong to the upside for at least a candle or two. So that trade's up 8%. The 414 calls we're still down on, but I still have faith. We need to get rid of those by the end of the day. I could take a loss on them. I just want to see. I likely will take a loss on them, but I average down to try to get my price down to try to play a little bit more of this upside bounce. Let me look at what my chart. Yeah, I really needed to kind of break through here, which, I mean, we are potentially going to see a cross, so maybe it gets bullish in here. Then we'll be done for the day. I really like this. I really like this upward movement here. We could, this is the play. I like, this is almost a perfect. This is the exact setup I look for. Is this cross? I said it would cross here green. I said we would enter on red candle. We entered on the red candle on the retest, and now we're going to get green, and we should see upside. This is kind of the exact trades that I look for. I want a little bit more profit. I hate to be greedy, but it's only up 7% right now. But usually, if I trade my whole account on this trade, if I would have taken my whole account here, you know, we make 8-9% on the entire trading account, which is only like $2,000 in there. But we would have 7% on $2,000, $140 in what, 9 minutes. So we could take that. But, I mean, I do expect to see some more upside. So, I mean, I'm holding it. And like I said, I'm actually okay holding these until the end of the week. Probably not going to unless this just blew up out of here and I could sell one and ride my position for free. But I just want to keep seeing the buying pressure come in. The SPY is kind of just being tricky. It's just trading sideways, so... we are kind of seeing a bounce here, and this is going to cross. I mean, this could be a pretty good indicator. I think this might be what those guys trade off of, is the bounce off of the cross maybe. Like they want to see this candle wick down and touch these 48 and 13 EMAs and then bounce up off of there. I think this looks super bullish to me. I don't know what other like professional traders would see, but to me, this looks very bullish because this could cross here, blow up out of here, and then we'll start testing 414. And then I can probably get out of some of my 414 calls on the day. So yeah, we're seeing this kind of anticipation of the cross here. If this candle's green, then it really should blow pretty well straight up into 414. From my experience, I'm not extremely good at this. I'm a field trader. Trade off a feel. What are those SPY calls doing? Still down 18%. We're down $80 on those. This AMD position is up 9%. So this position we're up 9% on. We're seeing this green price movement. Like I said, we would get a couple big green candles. So I like to have the 3 minute up, and then I like to have the 1 minute on my other screen because I can kind of see if I want to exit the position. Usually if I get a 1 minute candle close red, like a big 1 minute candle close red, then I'll consider exiting the position. Like if it engulfs it or something to the downside. And sometimes this won't show it. You know, this shows the green, but right now on the 1 minute, we're actually seeing a smaller red candle. But if that red candle kind of got into the previous minute candle and engulfed it, then I would consider closing my position. But right now, I mean, it's just running, so we're good. Same thing with SPY. Like I said, I think we're going to see this cross here, and then we're probably, well, hopefully we see some upside and we test this 414 range. So on this close, this will cross, and then you're going to see, if you don't see this candle kind of blow up, I think we would see the next candle kind of blow up out of there. Again, could see the entry like what we did here, but the difference to me is we're kind of blown up past, here, I'll show you. You see how this was testing? To me, this doesn't look like it's testing. It looks like it's just kind of blowing up off of this. On the other one, we were kind of wicking down and testing this level here. On this one, we're kind of just blown up out of it. So if this crosses, I would almost expect it just to see green candles going up. Unless this comes down and retests, then the next candle could be red, retest, then go up. But this candle looks really strong to me. So if this crosses on a green candle, I think we just see more green straight upward into 414. But yeah, I mean, there's more than one scenario. We definitely could see it cross and then see a red candle, give us our entry. This AMD is starting to pull back, so I'm going to actually exit out of my total position. And we got filled on that. The fill was... I didn't catch that fast enough. I would have exited sooner. It could continue upward, but I just don't like the selling pressure that I see on the 1 minute. Actually, it looks kind of strong now. Maybe I should have waited. But we closed it at 212. So we opened that position, the 105 calls at 191. And we closed it at 212. So we took like 18 or 19% on that. It looks like the 1 minute's kind of starting to blow back, but I don't. So this 1 minute, here, I'll show you why I sold. I didn't like this. I didn't like closing on a red candle on the 1 minute. Typically from here, I see it like kind of trade sideways and then move down and then kind of just there. Maybe I could have sold one and rode one, but I wasn't in enough profit that I like. So, like I said, I'm taking green. I take small green trades kind of all day. You know, make a couple $100 a day, try to catch one runner a week. And that's kind of my plan. So, yeah, we're seeing this kind of sell off a little bit more. So that's why I kind of exited on this candle here. I could have waited for the green tick. Usually I try to. Usually I don't like to exit on a red candle. If I bet the upside, I want to exit on the upside. If I bet the downside, I want to exit on the downside, like tick. Just kind of something that I like. But a lot of the time you don't really get it. So yeah, this looks like it might be coming back down. The SPY's kind of dragging it down. So we see this. So this is what I was talking about. This triggers, and then I said we might get a red candle, maybe come back down here and retest. I thought we would blow back out of here. This candle is bullish to me. We'll see what happens. I mean, this looks like heavy. It could like cross back in here, but this still looks bullish to me. I mean, this candle was bullish to me. I think that we'll see some upside, but this candle closing below, this candle opening below this buying means that the buying pressure wasn't there, so this definitely could come back down. What we want to see is a retest and then back up. Still holding the 414 calls. I mean, I still have faith that all of this selling pressure has to come back in at some point in buying pressure. I mean, we could have seen it here, but this just isn't enough volume. I want to see basically this volume come back in green. Because if this was shorts that just smashed it on open, they have to buy these back. So they have to take profit at some point. Maybe some were taking profit here. This is just my theory. This isn't like proven or anything. But if people were shorting the market today, they shorted it open, drive it down. They take some profit here. And then we have to see buying power come back at some point, whether they get squeezed out or they just start closing their positions. So yeah, so now we're seeing this green candle come. So this would have been our entry, kind of the same thing that we saw on AMD. So I wait for this cross, huge buying pressure. I wait for the red candle, retest, enter, and then we see upside. I exited my position here off of the 1 minute. I exited my position off of this red candle here on the 1 minute. I didn't like it. And then we took like 18% or whatever. So we exited here. Now we're seeing some downside. This could definitely trend sideways and keep going up. But I'm just not willing to hold a position that long when it's green. I mean, it's green 18% or whatever. So that's kind of the trade that I would wait to trade my whole account on. If I enter this, my entire account, then we make $300-400 on the day and I get out. But since I got antsy this morning on the SPY, which is messing with me, I really don't like this opening below this candle. This looks kind of bad now. Yeah, you see how it's kind of crossing. We might see this kind of same thing that we saw at open where it goes down, but could blow out. I don't know. I mean, this is still kind of bullish. Where's the... Yeah, I mean, it's still going up on the short term. So we really want this candle right here to turn green and kind of blow up out. It looks a little heavy right now. We're almost done for the day. Could just close out. I mean, we're pretty much break even on the day right now. But made some bad trades this morning. The SPY trade was kind of bad. Just went with this. Tried to guess right, and we were wrong. So, not always going to be right. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is a bad trade. Just generally, I shouldn't be trading within the first 15 minutes to a half hour. But still learning patience, and the gambler inside of me wanted to bet this upside just because the upside could blow out just as easy as this went down and then we just saw this massive sell-off. This could have turned into, let me do something here, watch. So just because this, we saw this, right? Could have just as easily could have just as easily there we go. Could have just as easily done this. right? Like, we could have just as easily saw that. Really, we should see, like, buying pressure come in. We should see this, I would think. Be nice to see, like, right here. So it'd be nice to see something like that. That would be sexy. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to put this here and manifest it. Testing that open range, right? Is that what we're testing? Like right here. Come on! Come on, Spy! What are you doing? Wow. Spike in selling pressure there. Let's watch it on the 1 minute. Be more fun. More fun. This is so fun, right? No, it's not fun. It's not fun watching this. This is bad. This is going down. It's just going sideways. What's the interweb saying? What are you saying, interwebs? Did my camera freeze? Oh no. Camera froze? Why? Why did my camera freeze? And how long has it been frozen? What happened? Hello? Hello? Hmm. What happened? Guess my camera froze. Interesting. Try to add it back in, see what it does. Huh. We're just... We're stuck. I don't know what happened. Camera froze. What happened? Camera froze.
Here back with another video for you, and today I want to talk about this little puppy right here, the Elgato Camlink Else. So the first thing is that's very important, and this is what I'm going to show you right now, to it or anything. Assume can't get other devices in front panel for me, so let me just plug the Camlink in. So what you want to install is the Elgato 4K catching utility. Obviously it's going to say no signal here because I haven't got a camera. Firmware version. Firmware isn't actually free, it's there. This is what Camlink is running.
I don't know. We should have to deal with it for the rest of the day. It's not like anybody's watching this anyways. I just want to get out of these spy calls. I want this to bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. This is goofy looking. Look at these wicks. This is not what I like to see, but I just want to see a blow up out of here. Oh, hey, figured it out. Deactivate, reactivate. Okay, spy. Getting some legs on it. Let's see where our trade's at. Not loving the wicks and the candles. They don't look very strong. Volume, still more red volume here, especially on the 1 minute. If we look, higher red volume. So my bad if that was repeating itself. I don't know if you guys could hear it. What I don't like is this. And then this. So red volume increasing, green volume decreasing. We're going up on decreasing green volume, not good. But if it continues to rise on decreasing volume, at least it'll give me an opportunity to get out. I do not like this Sam I am. I do not like this one bit. So if you look here, it's kind of like trend upward, right? Boom. increasing selling volume. Buying volume. Boom. Decreasing buying volume. Not good. Doesn't mean that it can't turn around and we can't just see like some green volume come in. It's just when you see this green volume shrinking, it's not a good sign. But these are also on the 1 minute, so this is also very micro scale. You can look back and you can go to like 30 minute and see what we got. And the opening volume was so red that not much is going to engulf it unless just a ton of buying pressure comes in. So this is our indicator on the 30 minute. You can see that we had kind of that slight cross here. And then boom, took off. Looks like it's trending actually downward. And so we could see a cross down in here. This isn't like a projection, right? This is just market movement. It just tracks it. Not everybody uses these indicators. It is not like a futuristic thing. It doesn't project what's going to happen. It doesn't guarantee anything. Just like with AMC, right? I thought we were going to see bullish movement on the 4 hour on it, which we still can, right? This is still 4 hour entry, red candle. Same thing on the micro. Same thing that we saw on the 3 minute with AMD. Same thing with the trade I took, right? I'm not scared of a red candle. I want to enter on a red candle. Like if I have more, I might actually look at the cash I have. I might just blow it on AMC calls. I entered on this red candle. Cross, buy signal. I said there would be a red candle. Waited for the red candle. I entered here. And then we moved up. So it could be the same thing too. Just because the indicator on the micro moves quicker doesn't make it any like less accurate in the happenings of it. The main problem with this is a red engulfing candle. It's like engulfing all this buying. But the wicks on it are crazy. Look at the wicks on that. It's so crazy. But if I was going to enter a trade, if this was a 3 minute, this is what I want to see to enter it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of what I want to see. SPY's just being goofy. So I want to see like this continue to kind of trend upward. I might just have to cut this SPY position though because it's just moving sideways and it feels kind of bad. It feels like we're going to trend down today off of that open. But they could just run it to end of day and then just sling us up out of there. They do that a lot. Like a pump fake, head fake all day, and then all of a sudden it just blows out. But it could also just blow down. I mean, it's a big guessing game. That's why we just look for indicators, look for trades that we like, the setups that we like, and take them. What was I doing? AMC calls. The only thing I can get with how much money I have left is the 1750 weeklies. What's the puts look like? Wow. There are no puts in the money. This actually looks... I actually like the way this looks. I can get one of the 17s. I think I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do that on this down tick. Yeah, huge sell-off in SPY. AMC is probably going to follow it. Yeah, selling off, but respecting. Like selling off, but still green. Still kind of respecting this like support level right here. Look at this. Look at these dumps, man. Look at SPY dump off out of there. So still respecting our support here. This is what I was talking about. And then, yeah, just blew through it. Just blew through it. Yeah, I didn't like this. I didn't like kind of like what I talked about. The volume. It looked dumpy. I probably should have got out. Darn. And I kind of just want to ride this into end of day. Like I just don't really believe this. I may hold these 414s. I just don't believe this right here. Like I hate seeing this because I just think it's like shorts that have to buy back in. Nothing's guaranteed, you know, but like when you see this, to me, it's just like a systematic selling event. that eventually has to be bought back. You know, like this incites fear. People panic. They start buying it up. I hate saying they. The algo is just on and off, right? But the idea is to get retail's money. So they dump it out. They stop out all the options, all the bulls. Like it's a bull trap. You know, this was like kind of all bull trap here. They stop them out, take their money, rake the liquidity out. Algo is just kind of running sideways, eating theta, taking everybody's money. And then eventually, like this builds up, and it has to go one way or the other. Either the selling pressure has to happen, people take profit, or all this selling has to come back in the sense of a buying pressure. All this volume has to come back in buying. It can't just run sideways all day. So I might just hold this to like 1, go walk the dog, go eat lunch, let these ride. But I think I'm going to end the stream here. I can kind of go over where we're sitting on the day. Oh wow, took an L on that SPY put pretty hard. 409 put. That's or when I got out of. Oh, I got out of that 409 put here on this uptick, which is fine. I think I got out like right here, which is fine. We never saw this retest, which I was playing. It got to bounce before. So this is good. This is like a good learning experience. This is kind of why I want to live stream. I want to be held accountable a little bit more. I should have never made the trade on open. It was a straight gamble. I blew basically $250 here at open. Now I'm kind of stuck in that trade. I tried to average down, so I'm trying to like catch up, you know, chase a loss. I liked this cross, thought it was bullish. We're not getting the volume. It's all dying off. Like everything's kind of saying downside, but also like the market wants you to think that way. So it's kind of like reverse psychology. Everything's saying downside. We definitely could just blow back up. So I want to ride this out because I do think that we need to test 414 at some point today. So I think it's probably going to give me an opportunity to get out of my trades for less of a loss than where I'm at now. As long as I don't get eaten alive by theta. I mean, if it trades sideways all day, then yeah, I'm going to take a pretty big L on the day. But we rarely see that. I just expect it to kind of blow out at some point today. It just looks too bearish to me to not kind of blow back up out of here. Does it have to? No. Do I know anything? No. This could definitely just dump out, 409 test, dump back down, bears win, right? But to me, it feels like something's coiling up. It feels like some of this selling pressure has to come back in as buys. So unless like some terrible news or something is released and the algo like switched off buying, then we're not going to test either of these levels. Just rarely inside of a day do you see it not respect some sort of level and just trade sideways. But we'll see what happens. The SPY put I lost. We entered at 158. I exited at 104, so I lost $54. We made $70 on one set of AMD calls, and then we made 38 plus 3. We made 41 on another set of AMD calls. So right now it was 111 minus 54. So it is at 56. So right now we're plus 56 on trades, like break even. But we're stuck in those 414 calls with the SPY going downward and sideways. So we just wait. Be a cute little like double bottom like rip right here. Can we get like a double bottom tap here and then like rip back up? That would be sweet. Something to let me out. I guess the double bottom would actually like kind of be down here. Which it kind of double bottom, but I don't like this lower low. Big selling volume here. So we're going to watch this. I am going to get off here. Overall, right now, plus $56, but really we're trapped in that SPY call from this morning right here that I'm an idiot and just guessed. Trade that I typically don't make, but wanted some gamble in the opening and tried to just catch it, blowing up out of there at the open. Everything signaled bullish, and of course it sold off because that's what it does. Just like now, everything's signaling bearish, so hopefully it just blows up out of there. We'll see what happens. But nobody watched this, so I am not saying goodbye to anybody. But maybe in the future, if anybody watches this, goodbye. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.